If you're even thinking about buying a new laptop right now, you have definitely seen this term everywhere. Copilot Plus PC. It's Microsoft's new big thing, the marketing's all over the place. But what does that actually mean? Let's break it down. So this is the big, flashy claim from Microsoft. It's a pretty bold statement, right? They're promising this huge leap forward for Windows computers. But, we all know how marketing works. It's one thing to say it and another thing for it to be true. Exactly. So let's do just that. We're going to slice right through all the buzzwords and the hype to figure out what actually makes these new laptops different from every other PC you could buy.
All right, so let's get straight to the truth behind all the noise. When you strip everything else away, it's actually not as complicated as it sounds.
This is really the whole idea in a nutshell. A Copilot Plus PC isn't some brand new invention from scratch. It's a Windows machine, but it's packed with a bunch of AI tools that you just can't get anywhere else. And to get what that means, we gotta look at the name itself. So, before we can even get to the plus part, we have to talk about the baseline. What even is Copilot? It's a piece of AI software you might have already bumped into. Yeah, you've probably already seen this. It's that little AI assistant that lives on your taskbar, and on some new keyboards, it even has its own dedicated key. It's basically Microsoft's flavor of ChatGPT baked right into the operating system. And it isn't just a Windows thing. You can grab the standard Copilot app on a Mac or even on your phone. Okay, so if the regular Copilot is pretty much everywhere, that plus is what makes these new PCs special. These are the exclusive AI features or experiences, as Microsoft likes to call them, that are the whole reason this new category of computer even exists. And this is the stuff you get with the Plus. You get tools like live captions, which is pretty cool. It can translate audio from over 40 languages into English subtitles in real time while you're watching a video. Or Co-Creator, which brings some really powerful AI image generation right into good old Microsoft Paint. And then, of course, there's the one everyone's been talking about, Recall. It basically creates a searchable photographic memory of what you do on your PC, and yes, don't worry, it is strictly Now, here's the real key. Running all those Plus features, that's not just a software update you can download. It demands very specific hardware. This is the actual dividing line between a normal laptop and a Copilot Plus PC. So Microsoft has set a really strict baseline here. To get the badge, a PC needs at least 16 gigs of RAM and a 256 gig solid-state drive. But the secret sauce, the component that really changes the game, is a special piece of silicon called a neural processing unit, or NPU for short. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your main processor, the CPU, is your general workhorse. Your graphics card, the GPU, is the expert for visuals, while the NPU is a brand new, specialized brain designed to do one job and one job only. Run all those AI calculations super efficiently without bogging down the rest of your computer. But here's the twist. It's not enough to just have an NPU. Nope, Microsoft has drawn a very clear line in the sand. To earn that Plus name, a chip has to hit a really serious performance target. And this is the magic number, 40 TOPS. That stands for trillion operations per second. It's just a raw measurement of how much AI crunching power a chip has. Hitting this number is the absolute non-negotiable ticket to being called a Copilot Plus PC. So how does all this techie stuff affect you when you're actually trying to buy one of these? Well, hitting that 40 TOPS requirement means you're choosing between 3 new families of processors. And believe me, this choice has some major implications. Now, the most interesting thing to look at here is that system type column. You've got chips from Intel and AMD, and they're both x86 based. That's the traditional architecture, the foundation Windows has been built on for decades. But then you've got Qualcomm's Snapdragon X processors, and they're ARM-based. This is a totally different system architecture, kind of like what Apple uses in its new Macs, and that difference, it's a really big deal. Okay, I really need you to pay close attention to this next part, because this is probably the single most important warning for anyone even considering one of these new PCs, especially if it has a Snapdragon chip inside. Because those Snapdragon processors are ARM-based, they just can't natively run some apps that were built only for the traditional x86 systems from Intel and AMD. Now, we're often talking about older or really specialized software here, things like AutoCAD or maybe certain programs you have to use for school. So the takeaway here is really, really simple. Before you even think about buying a Snapdragon-powered Copilot Plus PC, you have to verify that every single application you depend on is going to work on it.
Okay, wow. We've covered the marketing, the real features, the hardware deep dive, and the processor pitfalls. So that brings us back to the big question. Should you actually get one? Beyond all the AI features, one massive advantage is starting to show up in all the early reviews. Absolutely exceptional battery life. A lot of these machines, especially the ARM-based Snapdragon models, are showing phenomenal endurance. Some are even lasting longer than new MacBooks. If all day and then some power is what you crave, that's a huge point in their favor. So, there you have it. A Copilot Plus PC is a fast, super efficient Windows laptop that's defined by a powerful NPU, a whole new suite of AI tools, and that one big compatibility warning you have to watch out for. You know what's under the hood now, so the real question, well, that one's for you to answer. Do you actually need all that power?